Do you mind if I share money details?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely, would love that.
So like an average video, it's got 152,000 views. The estimated revenue is only...
Are you serious?
This is SMEAF. He's a 3D artist who has built a massive community on YouTube using meme-filled educational content. His main weapon of choice is Blender.
What is the best way to learn Blender in 2024?
You hop into Blender, you feel like you know everything. Then comes the valley of despair where you realize you basically know nothing. I guess like ways to combat it is... During that period of time, I was probably just very depressed. I couldn't really express myself creatively. So I moved out of that place. Immediately, the videos just started hitting.
That's amazing. We saw that you do everything in-house, everything yourself. Incredible content, incredible 3D skills. What's the worst and the best thing about being SMEAF? SMEAF, welcome to the Bad Decisions podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for your time. Me and Farhad are super excited to have this conversation with you, and I'm sure everybody listening and watching has the same idea. So how we usually like to begin is by digging into the story of our guests, because we handpick our guests to be inspirational, successful people. And me and Farhad are in love with the content that you produce, not just the content itself, the details of it. Let's talk about
The storytelling.
Let's talk about the editing.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, the amount of time you spend on editing and the overlays. Not only is the video about 3D, you also use the 3D tools to create the overlays for your video. And from one of the recent videos you've created, we saw that you do everything in-house, everything yourself. You are looking for editors, by the way, wink, wink to anybody watching right now.
Yes.
But you do all of that yourself. Incredible content, incredible 3D skills. Let's take it all the way back. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was Little SMEAF like?
Little SMEAF. Little SMEAF was very shy. And I think I still am to an extent. But...
It can't see that on
Can't
YouTube
see that
videos.
on the
Can't see
videos.
that on the videos.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, no, my childhood was like, pretty chill. How far back are we talking? Like high school?
When was the
or
first
what?
time that you got interested actually
In 3D?
into video making and 3D? Yeah.
Yeah. I think video making was probably like, in my 10 plus old range, I'd say, because I remember making like stop motion Lego stuff like in real life, which was kind of
Okay.
cool. I have like a very core memory of doing that with my sister, and it was like so strange to think back on, because I was using this tiny like shitty little hand recorder at like olden technology, and I was just taking little pictures and making these terrible videos back then. But yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah. So that's probably the point where I really got interested was like just the boom of 3D in general with Pixar and Disney. Going from the 2D to 3D transition was just crazy to see. And then, I think the video you were talking about before was like my Q&A video, right? Where I talk about a bit. Yeah. Yeah, definitely Dash running on water was kind of crazy to me.
Oh, we love The Incredibles.
Dude.
We love The Incredibles.
Hell yeah.
Such a great animation.
Yeah.
It was one of our favorites. I mean, Farhad was, because Farhad's the older brother, and he would always be the one choosing and deciding what we're watching. But I was always a big fan of his taste, so we watched all these cartoons together. Incredibles was one of our fucking favorites.
I think we rewatched it at least 20, 30 times.
But we watch it with Persian dubs. So it's like a completely different animation, because with Persian dubs and the English, it's not even the same thing. But talking about the 3D itself, very interesting at the time it was released.
Yeah, wild. And then seeing Incredibles 2 as well. The differences, seeing all those like comparison videos on YouTube is so funny. But that would definitely be like the core moment when I was like, oh, this is really cool. I would like to do this at some point. And then yeah, fast forward to like high school, and I got put into this, I guess you'd call it like a certificate program with a game studio, and they had Blender there, and I was doing like, I think I was learning Flash, Adobe Flash CC, the really old version.
Yes.
And I was just doing like terrible 2D animations there, because it was basically like you were an intern at this game studio, and then at the end of it you get a little certificate that means nothing in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, they had Blender, and I think it was in 2012, so it would have been like version 2.7 or something, like just the dark days of Blender, basically.
Yes.
There was basically no tutorials. I think Blender Guru was around then, definitely making tutorials, but it was like, that's it. That's all you got.
Yeah. Was the donut there when you first started?
I don't remember the donut existing back then, but my memory isn't that good. So maybe it was. Who knows?
Right. Okay. And then how did that, so at the point of finding Blender inside that internship, did you take any interest in 3D, or was it like, what is this shitty piece of crap software?
Yeah, I think probably the latter. It was like, this kind of sucks right now. I don't really like using this, because I think all I did was make a table, and I was like, okay, this is cool, but I don't have access to this anywhere else than here. So I kind of just like abandoned it, and then went back to animating with Adobe. And do you guys know Pivot, the program Pivot?
I do not.
Okay, it's like a stick figure animation software. It's like super old school. Yeah, I just made like.
Is it still around?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to find out. Maybe I can make a video on it.
And what about Pivot?
Oh, it was just good. Like it was fulfilling that need to like create stuff digitally, because I was like, oh, I really want to do this 3D stuff, but I don't really have access to it until I go to this weird place in Brisbane. Yeah, so Pivot was my main thing for a while, just making really shitty stick fight animations.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see where that went ahead to take you to your next step and the next part of your journey in 3D.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I mean, like I obviously graduated from school, and then in Australia, I think my age group, it was like, you either get a job or you continue studying. So I was like, I really don't want to work, so I guess I'll just continue studying.
What did you study?
I studied the Bachelor of Animation and 3D Modeling at SAE Quantum. I kind of trashed on them.
Why did you take that? Why did you take that route?
Oh, because it's just like, it was the clearest way to achieve what I thought was, getting into the industry and becoming someone that could work at somewhere like Pixar, which obviously didn't happen. But I mean, like, yeah, I think I went in there being like, I really want to animate characters. And then, as time went on, I was like, well, do I really want to animate characters? No.
Was it that boring, the classes that turned you down?
Oh no, it was more so like the lectures there and the projects that we were doing. Like, it was a 3-year course, and they did trimesters, and each trimester I think over the whole 3 years I only did like maybe 4 projects in total. So it was like, if I discovered Blender outside of that and had access to it outside of that, I could have done hundreds of projects in those 3 years and really got stuck into it. But yeah, I was kind of limited there, I think. Yeah.
That's weird.
The same problem, Faraz had the same problem with his computer engineering bachelor, which was more theory than actually coding, right?
Yeah, we were doing computer science.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it's going to be like Mr. Robot series where I'm going to be hacking shit and I'm going to be writing code about cool software. That was perhaps just one of the semesters. And the one semester where we had software engineering as the title of the course, the instructor was writing code on a whiteboard.
Oh, wow.
When in the fucking world do you write code on a whiteboard? You write on a computer. You don't write on a piece of paper. I mean, I think you rarely do, right? Especially now with AI and Copilot, you barely write half of the code. The other half is written by AI. And Jensen is saying that in the future, all of code is going to be written by AI. Why are we writing this down on a whiteboard?
Exactly.
So, yeah, some of the things don't make sense in a traditional educational system, especially talking about coding, which is a skill you can learn immediately online. It's so accessible compared to something like learning to become a doctor, right? That's a different story. But even with 3D, I feel like the best way to learn it is to learn it online, especially now. And that's a topic we're going to get to. But so your courses were not enticing you as much, I'm assuming, at the time.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't think I had the curriculum somewhere, but I was like looking through it, and the first year it was just like theory, but theory on stuff not even remotely related to animation. And I'm like, what the fuck? What am I doing here? But again, it was either like get a job or continue studying. So I was like, I guess I'll just stick through.
Still going to continue studying.
Yeah.
Still going to continue studying.
But it was more so like, also money-wise, studying was the lazier alternative because there's welfare here. It's called Centrelink, Centers. And you basically get like, I don't know, back then maybe $400 a week or something just to study. So
you get paid to study?
Well, you pay, like I've got a massive HEX debt for studying.
Right.
But like to survive, I think people used to also, or still do, work and study at the same time. But it's like, you can either do that and, burn yourself out, or you could not work and live at like poverty levels and study. So that's what I did.
That's what you were choosing. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did that go for, and what was it like?
So I think I started in 2014 and then I ended in 2017. So it was like, just bang on 3 years. I'm pretty sure I failed a semester or a trimester, just because it was probably one of the ones that just had nothing to do with the thing that I was trying to pursue.
But were you also learning on the side for yourself from online resources or going through tutorials or playing around with system?
No, not really. No. Other than like maybe for a project or like something that was worth a lot of percentages for my grade, they don't teach you everything, so you have to like do it on your own time. So like in that sense, I was, but personal projects, I think the only really personal stuff I was doing was sculpting with ZBrush, because I just got really into ZBrush for some reason. But that's probably the only kind of personal development stuff in the 3D world that I was doing. Yeah.
That sounds like a rocky road to begin with. I mean, that journey is a long one. And so far, you still haven't gotten yourself super interested into 3D. I mean, comparing it to now, where we see your videos and the skills you've got. So I'm curious, at this point, are you unmotivated, or you still believe this is the right path for you? 3 years, even after finishing that entire course, I believe that was university, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was
okay.
I think they're technically claimed to be a college, but yeah, like same difference.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely like during that period of time, I was probably just very depressed. I shouldn't say probably. I was depressed during that time.
Okay. Okay.
Because it was just like very. I don't know. I didn't really know what I was doing with myself. Just living with a couple mates from school and studying this thing that wasn't really teaching me that much. It was like very demotivating. and then finishing with it. I think that the main thing that they were marketing at the end of the course was like, you can intern, you get to intern somewhere and, get a foot in the door. But that just didn't happen. Like, I think I interned with this really niche company that had nothing to do with 3D. And you basically had to find an internship or you fail. So that's the only one I could find. So that sucked.
Man, I'm waiting for the story to turn around. This is like I'm watching a movie and I'm still waiting for the bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Wait, so you went to the internship and they didn't hire you after that? What?
No. So I really can't remember what it was. It was something to do with oh god. It was a retro band, and I should know this. It was I'll send you like screenshots after this. So you can. Do you guys edit this at all? Do you throw stuff up during the?
We do have a fantastic editor. Ricardo's going to overlay that.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, yeah. Whatever is on screen right now. That band that they had a management studio, and I for some reason that's what I ended up interning with. And
now that I think about it, you should remember this, bro. Come on.
No, probably the job wasn't motivating.
Exactly.
Didn't pay well. Why would I remember it?
Did it pay well?
No, you don't get paid as an intern.
Oh my god!
That's why you don't remember it.
So like fully unpaid internship.
Why would I waste my brain cells?
Yeah,
but
brain cells are like we don't care.
I should say, but it was a great sort of intro into video editing because I was editing videos basically. I was like putting together a sort of real video for the band.
Right.
Yeah. And that was like my first intro to Premiere Pro and After Effects and all that. So
let me ask you a question. Was this related to what you were studying? Isn't your internship supposed to be related to what you're studying? And were you not studying 3D and animation?
Yeah, so I was studying 3D animation, but again, no, it wasn't related at all to what I was doing.
Okay,
because,
interesting.
Like the ultimatum was like, I remember it was basically like the last week of classes at the uni, and I was sitting there, and they're like, you have to find an internship or you fail, basically. So everyone was struggling to get internships, and the only one that I could secure was this super niche place. And it was totally unrelated to 3D. So I was just like, okay, I have to do this, otherwise I'm going to fail.
Okay.
But in hindsight, it is where you got your foot in the door when it comes to learning about editing and learning the art of storytelling. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, not storytelling, but just like picking up the basics of how to edit anything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, please go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, I did do like film and television in school, which also has, an aspect of editing and making really terrible student films. But probably the internship is where I figured out like, oh, you can make cool stuff without 3D. Yeah.
Makes sense. So what happened after the internship?
I got a corporate job and didn't touch 3D for ages.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For how long?
Probably like 4 years, maybe. Like I was dabbling with sculpting and Blender in between, but yeah, I basically just got a corporate job because Centrelink stopped paying me.
Wow. And then what was so now you went to the corporate job, of course. You don't have much time to learn 3D or play around maybe during the weekends, or sometimes you will do it.
Yep.
When was the turning point from the corporate job to the 3D world and YouTube?
It was like probably in the height of 2020 when it was just everyone was working from home, and I'd sort of jumped from a couple of jobs. Like when I graduated, I went to this software company where I was basically like a support call guy. So like they would list cars on places like car sales and stuff like that for dealerships. And then if something was wrong, people would call me and be like, fix my shit. And then I'd be like, I'd be taking complaints and stuff. So it was like super depressing stuff.
Dude, I know. I always think about it because sometimes when I'm calling these centers and I'm calling them with a problem, I am already angry and I don't even know the guy. I just want my shit solved. So you're literally dealing with angry people who hate you for no reason.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh my God. How long did you do that for?
So I was at that place for, I think, like maybe 4 years. It's a little fuzzy because like in those days I was like pretty sad.
Right.
But I jumped from that job after I think it was 4 years. Jumped from that job to another job, and it was basically the same job, just like with a different skin on for childcare. So I was taking like angry calls from parents.
Oh my God.
It was like, bro. I'd say that's even worse than a secondhand car dealership person just having a really angry mom on the other line of the phone. It's not good.
What would they complain about usually?
Usually it's pretty mild stuff. Like I think there was a pretty funny interaction I had with someone at the center, basically at 2IC, which is second in charge. They burnt fish fingers and fed it to their children. And then they got like unbelievably upset about that.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Some parents are pretty wild when it comes to what happens in childcare centers. But there's honestly some pretty crazy horror stories that happen at childcare centers. So I don't blame them.
Should we hear about them? I don't know. You tell us.
I thought this was a 3D podcast.
Yeah, I thought so.
We're gonna go over the childcare problem.
But I already know everything about Blender. Let's talk about this.
Oh man.
No, but it's crazy because when you're working in a situation like that, you're consistently filling your mind with garbage that is not related to your life.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as social media, essentially. So you had social media on one side, you could be scrolling your phone, looking at shit that doesn't matter. At the same time, you're getting calls and hearing stories that don't really matter to you. So,
bro, social media is much easier. You are at least looking at beautiful things. Someone is screaming at you on the phone. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I'd take social media any day over that. Even just like bad comments.
What would you do? What would you do during those times to vent, basically, to let go some steam? Was it 3D? Was it modeling, sculpting? Did you do that in order to heal yourself during those days?
Yeah, I mean, like I'd come home from work and I definitely, the departure from graduating, there was like this dark period where I did nothing, and then I sort of re-entered it with ZBrush and Blender. So I would come home and do like, I think I started in 2020. I was doing daily sculpts of people on my TikTok. That was kind of fun, and it was like a sort of quick, dopamine hit. It's like, holy shit, people are watching this for some reason. Even if it was like 1,000 views, that's like, wow, that's amazing.
Can I stop you and ask you, what was the key moment for you to decide uploading on TikTok and doing that daily render? What was the reason?
Oh, the reason was just, I think just like to cathartically put something out there in the world. Like, all day just getting screamed at, or like just doing the most monotonous task. Then coming home and being able to create is like, it was very, very cathartic for me. But yeah, and then like, I guess I was just sort of at that stage trying to chase some clout, because I was like, people are just posting random shit. Like I think back then people would just film like eggs and be like, TikTok will show anything these days. And then they were getting like millions of views. I'm like, what? I want to see what that's like. Yeah.
I know that feeling because I remember when TikTok first came around, people would literally beg you to like the video so that it doesn't flop. That was like the most famous hashtag was "Don't let this flop."
Yeah.
So you would literally make the stupidest video, "Don't let it flop," and it would literally get millions of views because people were nice enough to not let it flop.
Yes.
And so I understand that feeling. Were you also, for the daily renders, were you inspired by people like Beeple, perhaps? Because I remember at that time, that's when Beeple was really big as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because I think also, like most people did around that time with the NFT craze, I kind of fell into that trap too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely people.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Farah, when did we start our 3D journey?
Yeah, during NFT time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, similar. Because it's just there was so much art on social media.
Yeah.
There's so much art. I mean, there was a lot of money too, but there's also so much art. You get to see so many beautiful artists share their work, also for clout and for money. But at the same time, if you take those away, those elements, the main thing that remains is beautiful art.
Yeah.
And suddenly you had that influx of it because people were spending so much time at home, and people like yourself started creating more and more. And at the same time, people who were making tutorials, right? We had more of those people during the pandemic as well. And that's why I think it created an influx of all these amazing artists, including yourself and us as well. Hey, not bad.
Yeah.
Just mini high five. But please continue. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good. Going back to the TikTok days, I think the daily renders came in like after I departed from sculpting, because like before, like my YouTube channel was called SMEAF Sculpts, and I was going to be a sculpting channel, which would have been interesting. Like there's definitely some videos that have privated where it's like me sculpting cursed Mario or something like that. And yeah, I mean, if people watched it back then, no one watched it back then, but if someone did, congrats, because that was like peak
You're an OG.
Yeah, horrible video time. But the daily renders were probably like pinnacle to where I am today, because it was like relearning Blender and 3D all over again. But I had all the foundation like ready to go, so it was like super quick for me to learn everything. Which is great.
That's awesome. So, and then you were doing YouTube and TikTok at the same time?
TikTok first, and then I slowly transitioned to YouTube. Just like in the evenings, I'd make these really horrible videos and throw them up. You guys probably have some horrible first videos, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
You don't even want to go there. You don't even want to go there.
But did we set any of them on private?
No.
No, right?
Don't go and look at
At least in this channel, no. But I used to make videos before.
Oh yes. So Farah's was that YouTube channel.
I was in gaming and I was bald, and my fans were into anime. So imagine I dressed up as a bald waifu dude who was dancing to anime music.
And then breaking eggs on your head.
And I was breaking eggs on my head for a challenge. So we've seen worse. But trust me.
Damn, that's
So you should be good. You should be good. Yeah.
Yes. I hope you guys don't look for those videos.
So I have this question that now you are taking the corporate job and YouTube at the same time.
Yep.
And then moving them together. When was the turning point that, hey, YouTube, 3D, whatever I'm doing here makes sense. I can quit my job and I can do this full time?
Yeah, I think the date was like 2021, around August. I got like my first bit of money, not from YouTube, but from just throwing a series I made from my YouTube onto Skillshare. And it immediately generated money, and I was like, what the hell? This is sick. I didn't know you could do this. So that was amazing, because I definitely, like a lot of people, YouTube was always the dream to be like some kind of YouTuber. And I think I touched on it in my Q&A video, but I used to make these horrible Let's Play videos where it's just like, you know, young SMEAF with a really terrible mic playing The Binding of Isaac and Minecraft and, you know, all the classic games. But they're gone from the internet. I don't know where they are anymore. Like I was trying to find them to reference for this podcast, but I can't find them.
AI will help you do that eventually.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure ChatGPT eventually will be able to search the entire internet for you.
Or just generate me.
So we'll see that. We'll see those videos one day. We'll see them one day.
Yeah, no, but the turning
Go
point
ahead.
was the Skillshare class. Just I think it made like $35 for the first month, which is crazy because also USD, which is like almost 2 times my money. So it was like, wow, this is really good. And I didn't have to do anything because I made the video like months ago, so I just posted it. And yeah,
So the $35 was the light bulb in your head that I can do this and this is going to work for me.
yeah, definitely.
Don't tell me you immediately quit your job.
With
After
$35.
Well, dude, no,
Parents, I got this shit
got
under
this.
control.
We
made $35.
Dinner on
We can
me,
do
fish
this.
and chips. Let's go.
fish and chips. No, dude, the funny thing is I quit before I even made money.
Oh shit!
So that was bad.
My man. My man.
It was terrible.
So wait, okay, so then we gotta go back a little bit now. We gotta go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about the story of quitting then.
Let's go back. So I quit like I saved up 6K, 6 rand, and I was like, this can front me for at least 6 months. So then I basically
$1,000 a month.
Yeah, basically. I was living in kind of poverty at that stage.
Right.
Like I had barely. Well, I was splitting a place with 2 other people, so the rent was like really cheap. I think $500 a month, and then it was just food and utilities, and that's basically it.
Okay.
So it was really cheap to live. So I was like, 6K should last me, about 6 months. That was when I was making the sort of sculpting videos on YouTube. So I was already making them while working, and I was like, this just sucks. I can't keep this up. I'm gonna quit and then just see how it goes. And then if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure the job will take me back, which they did. I went back to that job.
So it didn't work at first.
No, hell no.
Okay, we got a sequel to the movie, guys. Got a sequel coming.
So you go for 6 months, it doesn't work, and you're just doing the sculpting video at this time, right? You haven't transitioned to anything else.
Okay, so at that time, finance creators were like, I was really into like real estate and trying to get into the housing market somehow when I had no money, and I was like, this would be amazing if I could get into here. And finance creators on YouTube were blowing up for some reason. I don't know why. Like Graham Stephan and all that. And then their monetization videos were also insane. Like the RPMs.
The highest paid.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. I should make finance videos.
I mean, for everybody watching and listening, we had the same conversation, I remember.
Yeah.
It's because, one, during COVID, people were trying to make money at home. And these
All the time,
finance
not
videos,
only during
but
COVID,
more so during COVID.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it's the ads, the type of ads that would run on these videos.
Credit cards,
paid
banks,
the most.
they pay the most. So
they were making shitloads of money for the same amount of views as, let's say, 3D artists.
Or even less. Yeah, like you could get 1,000 views, well, maybe not 1,000, but like, 10K views. You get paid like $1,000 or something, which is wild.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah, like for reference, do you mind if I shared money details for one of my average videos?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. Would love that. Yeah.
One of my, like, let's say, let me pull up an average video.
Pull
of
it
mine.
out.
I need to open my other
Oh,
browser.
man. This is going to get juicy. This is going to get juicy. Going to use this for the trailer.
I can send you some screen.
SMEAF is making X amount.
Let's say, so the Where's my videos? Hold on. I'm so sorry.
No, take your time. It's all good. Take your time. I do want to say, while you're finding it, we also appreciate that you shared it during your Q&A video. I didn't think you're going to do that. I don't think a lot of people are comfortable doing that. And I think it's really, one, brave and also valuable.
Honest, yeah.
It's also valuable for a lot of people who wonder what it's like being SMEAF, someone like you. And that can help them decide on which path they want to go on. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no worries. I really, like, I tell people a lot. I feel like no one does it. And it, younger SMEAF would have been killing to know what 3D artists were making on YouTube. Which evidently is not a lot, but still, it'd be amazing to know. But yeah, so like an average video where there's one here. I made an ad for famous YouTubers where I made the grog ad.
The cold ones, right?
Yeah, cold ones. That's got, as of right now, it's been up for almost a year. It's got 152,000 views, and the estimated revenue is only $739, which is like, for that kind of viewage on some other niche like finance, it'd be like maybe 10x that.
It would
number.
be way above that.
Yeah.
It would be way above that. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
And the thing about finance videos, usually they start with 5 tips on how to make money or 5 ways on how to make $1 million.
Yeah.
Everybody will watch all 5. So their watch time is also amazing. So they will go all the way because they want to get all the tips.
And then
so
usually they have some links down in the description that you can use to buy their courses, which also cost a bomb, or there's affiliate links. So they make a lot of money. So if you guys, you know what? I think we should stop the podcast. Guys, go do finance. Don't get into 3D. I'm just kidding. Please continue.
Yeah. But yeah, the first types of videos I was making was like really terrible financial advice videos with the SMEAF character, like the full-on 3D model. I would like superimpose him. Well, I wouldn't superimpose him. I would animate him just with my mouse. I'd be like moving it to my voice, and just it was so bad. I don't know what I was thinking.
So you did finance videos with SMEAF's character?
Yeah.
Wow. Why would someone trust the SMEAF character
Right?
for financial advice?
But not even current SMEAF. Like current SMEAF is kind of cute and terrifying, but old SMEAF was like terrifying.
Wait, there's a SMEAF 1.0?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like,
is it still there online?
Maybe. I'll give it to your editor. It's horrible. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay, we have to see it. Have to see it. Damn, so you made financial videos. I did not expect that.
These financial videos are before going back to your job, or was it right after you go back?
It was before. So
before.
It was like, it was a mix in between. So there was a crossover, but yeah, it was in I think I was just in that doomer mindset in my job where I was like, I'm making piss all money and I hate my life. There's got to be a different way to this.
Yeah.
And then, I quit, and there clearly wasn't a different way until I discovered how to make some money with Skillshare.
Then how long you stayed in the second phase of your corporate job?
I think another 4 years. I'm not sure. It was like 2 to 3 years maybe. Because it was, I quit the childcare job because that was like just the car software dealership job on steroids, and then the YouTube thing failed and I couldn't get it working, so I went back to the car dealership software job for another. I think it was like 2 or 3 years.
And then, when was the time that you said, I'm going to quit the job for the second time?
Pretty much just like when Skillshare was making me enough to pay everything, which was basically like $2,000 a month. I was like, that's baseline. As soon as it hits that, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
And so during the second period of that corporate job, you were creating content and creating Skillshare courses. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah. So I was basically doing like product animation courses. Those are the ones that just do the best for me because it's like what I'm good at. And then I think there's some other ones on there where it's like some photogrammetry stuff. There's the Blender basics, just how to get started in it. By the way, if you're watching this and thinking I'm trying to sell this, I'm not. Like, don't like. I only go there if you want to learn this stuff. I'm just trying to for story. That's what I did. And Skillshare like coasted me into quitting my job, which then gave me so much more time to actually figure out YouTube and get that going, which was awesome.
So let's talk about figuring out YouTube. Me and Farhad had this discussion before the podcast. For anybody who's ever been a YouTuber or a content creator,
or tried to be,
there's that one key moment that you realize that you're going to do this and you're going to succeed. And it usually is one type of video. It's something that you do in that video. It's the editing, it's the concept,
the intro,
and it hits hard. People love it, you love it, and you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m. and I'm gonna make content every fucking day. What was that key moment for you?
Yeah, probably the key moment of getting a video that does well, like it hits a 1 of 10, which for context, 1 of 10 is like the best of the best, and 10 of 10 is the worst of the worst. The key moment was like I was living in a sort of horrible housing situation, so I couldn't really express myself creatively or to my fullest ability. So I moved out of that place, and then immediately the videos just started hitting. Like I adopted a new editing style. I did those sort of cringe meme cuts where it's like every point is like there's a title and then there's some outdated meme now just living on that. And yeah, that the first one that hit, I think it was like how to animate. It was something about animation, but just the way it was put together, it was like it's basically a shit post. If I'm being real, it was a shit post on my channel, but people were enjoying the memes at that point. So I was like, wow, this is me now. I'm the shit post guy.
Yeah, it defines you. It defines who you are.
Yeah. So that was like the key moment. But I find that, I don't know the workflow for you guys, but I made a video where I was describing transparency bounces in objects on Blender. And I was like, this is insanely boring. No one wants to watch this. So I was like, let me just make it like stupidly memed up and dumb. And it made the process more fun for me, which in turn made me want to do it. So like the more stupid an idea is, the more likely I am to do it, which is, I think it's pretty evident on my channel with the videos I'm posting now. Like I'm doing the kind of silly ideas with these challenges. Yeah.
I think that's one of the best way to teach, actually. When you're including humor into education, I think it's much more easier to create and much more easier to take it as a student as well at the same time. And I think there's a trend in your latest videos. We can see all the memes, we can see the editing style that has a lot of comedy into it, which we love it as well. So
yeah.
I think that's a great style to follow.
Yeah, I mean the memes have definitely died down. Like I looking back on some of those old videos these days, it's like, wow, this did not age well. Some of the meme cuts are like, that's no longer funny. And arguably not even funny.
It was during the time you released it, though.
Yeah, well, to some people, to me it was. Yeah, I have an insane amount of meme compilations on my hard drive.
I can imagine it's probably terabytes of memes just saved in the editing folders.
Yeah. At least one.
I like that. That's not enough. I think you gotta raise that number. We want to look at more. What's the worst and the best thing about being SMEAF?
The worst thing is having really silly ideas and then just not sleeping because I want to do them. Like I think one of those videos I was up for at least 3 days because I was like, I did the challenge and then I was like, I really want to like just do a rough cut, put it together, and I stayed awake for another like 2 days. It was not good.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. I mean, I see why you think of it as the worst thing, but I love it when I see people so passionate about what they're doing. That's true fucking passion right there.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like just, I don't know if I look tired, if you can see my bags, but I've already been awake a day.
Even in the 24-hour videos where he's not sleeping in some of them and doing the challenges, I'm like, you look like you just slept. You don't look tired. Maybe
really?
You're cheating. I don't know.
Well, I would get into that if you want, how I edit those. Because I am like slightly cheating with the the main cam filming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Of course. But what is the best thing about being SMEAF?
The best thing, maybe just, I don't know, time freedom. Having the time to do pretty much anything I want is pretty amazing. Which is kind of the ultimate goal from younger SMEAF, just being locked in a cage, working for someone. That really sucked. Yeah.
Farhad told me the other day that true happiness is freedom, right? It's not really about money. Money is what gets you to freedom, but the true happiness comes from freedom. And you clearly have that now. And having seen and heard your story now, especially the detail that you went into in this podcast, I can see the amount of pain and sacrifices you've had to make and go through just to get to this point. I mean, the times where you had to listen to angry parents,
angry car owners,
and then quitting, living in a super lean fashion by $1,000 a month with no certain future, but you still kept going. That is not easy. So your journey is a long one. It's not a short one. It doesn't seem that long. When we looked at your YouTube channel and just go through the oldest videos and the newest videos, for people who might look at you at first glance, they might not see all of that. And that's the main purpose of this podcast, why we wanted to hear the full story, because I can see the fucking pain. And to see you where you are today is fantastic. So I love it.
Thanks, man.
So now that you have all the freedom, what is your daily routine like?
Dude, the freedom is a gift and a curse because like I think I have a very addictive personality. So when I get addicted to something, it's like my whole life until I get bored of it, really. So my daily routine is like wake up, watch some YouTube, and then honestly, I really don't work enough on my YouTube videos as I should. So that's probably why I have these stints where I'm up for like 3 days because I need to get a video out, but I'm also like I was preoccupied with something, usually just a video game. Like right now it's Elden Ring. I'm addicted.
Oh God, of course. Of course. That game never ends, and it's like super difficult.
I know. I'm like surprised. I thought I was finished. I did just a huge story moment, and I'm like, all right, time to get back to work. And then 9 hours later, it's still going.
Oh shit!
Yeah, everyone's playing that game. Elon was playing the game.
Elon finished.
We had one guest on the podcast, Perry. I don't know if you've seen the video. She uses an EEG device, so she plays games with her mind.
Whoa.
Sort of like mind control. She just finished beating one of the bosses of Elden Ring, which is fucking mad with her mind. So no controllers, nothing. Just thinking.
Wow.
Just by thinking, she beat one of the bosses. So you have some competition. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I'll send you the video later.
Yeah, please. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
If someone asked you today, what is the best way to learn Blender in 2024? What would be your answer?
Go watch my video. No, I'm kidding. I would like, I know it sounds biased, but like you can get free trials on Skillshare. You can just binge, like there's a ton of great stuff on there, high quality stuff that you can just binge and then like eat the trial away. They probably don't like me saying that, but like you can watch it all for free. And then once you're done with it, you can hop onto YouTube and go into more niche stuff that you actually want to learn, because like at the end of the day, it's basically finding a niche is pretty paramount. I would say. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah.
No, we 100% agree. You have this one video. Actually, you have multiple videos about starting in 3D and starting with Blender. And one of the things that struck us the most is the Valley of Despair. And I would love for you to explain that to people and tell them how to get out of it. Because I feel like when you're talking about niching down, that's one of the reasons why it helps with the Valley of Despair. Because again, I want you to explain it, but when you're a generalist and you go into these complex softwares like Blender, let's say something even worse like Houdini, and you're just trying to do everything at once, that's going to be painful. And you're probably not going to succeed. But there are strategies that you can use, and you were discussing some of those in the video. So maybe to answer Farhad's question about how to learn Blender best, what do you think we can do to avoid the Valley of Despair and what that is?
Yeah, definitely try your best to avoid it. So the Valley of Despair is like, I forget the exact name of like the graph, but it's basically like you hop into Blender, you're thinking, okay, I want to learn animation. I think it's easy. I'm gonna crush this. You're like, okay, I'm learning simple stuff like how to set a keyframe. I'm the best. And like at that stage when you just learn a couple of key concepts, you feel like you know everything. And then then comes the Valley of Despair, where you you actually know like basically nothing, and you realize you basically know nothing. So it just overwhelms you, and you're like, holy shit, how do I do all this stuff? It's too hard. So then you're like, okay, maybe I should try something else because this is clearly too hard. And then you just restart the process and you go, okay, let's do modeling now. And then, and the cycle just repeats and repeats.
Same graph.
Yeah, and I think most people that do this are generalists. Like they feel like, okay, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do all the animation, all the materials, all, everything. And I'm going to be great at all of them. When in reality, you're going to be like mid at all of them. And it's pretty easy to fall into the Valley of Despair when you just, you got like 10 fingers and 10 different pies all at once. So
you also the description that he had of Skyrim characters. I know you're madly obsessed with Skyrim, and you should see a doctor for that. But talking about the way you described how going into 3D, you're sort of a character in Skyrim where you will have different perks depending on the character that you choose, different advantages and different disadvantages. And when you visualized it, because you mentioned it in the video, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever, just a fancy concept you're trying to explain. And then when you actually put the numbers, and I remember all the video games that I played, it's exactly the same. The moment that I decide to go into rigging, and I didn't do that, by the way, because it's too hard. The moment I decide to go into rigging, I'll be an amazing guy at rigging. I'll understand exactly how to rig different characters, bipeds, if it's a snake, if it's going to be a horse, a bird, all these different things. But then I'm going to suck maybe in lighting. And then I can go and discover that, spend another 1-2 years at that, but then I'll probably suck somewhere else. So you always have to choose your battles. You cannot be the best at everything. And the way you used the Skyrim characters made a lot of sense. So that's definitely helpful as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I guess like ways to combat it is to combat the Valley of Despair is to just like pick a niche, pick what you want to do, figure out what it is that even inspired you to pick up Blender in the first place. Because if you do that, then you can, I go through in that video, like you go through the bucket, and there's like levels of reasons why you want to do something. So basically just find out what you're inspired by, and it ideally to do stuff in Blender, and then figure out like why you would want to do that in the first place, like at all. Like, what's the outcome? Are you just doing it because like it's a hobby? Are you doing it because you're actually inspired by it? Like, you got to really define your reasoning, because if not, you'll fall into the valley so quick. You'll basically just hop in there. You won't even go over the hump.
There's a shortcut to the valley.
Yeah, just pick it up and be like, wait, how do I make a cube and how do I delete it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that because we are also starting our journey into Houdini. Houdini is like so much more complex. As we've done Blender, we're not experts at Blender, but we know it enough to use it in our activities that require Blender, right? Whatever that may be. We've learned Unreal Engine to a great deal, and we just like dipped our toe slightly into Houdini now, just a little bit, which is freaking hard. But even in Houdini, the concept that you talked about works. There is vellum solvers, which work, let's say, for cloth. There's pyro for smoke. And I've heard, and we even had a guest in our previous episode, Orban, who's the explosions guy for Houdini. He decided, I'm going to be the explosions guy. He said, I'm going to master pyro simulations. And he's done so well in that. Not only is he known as that guy, he also partnered with another software developer that now helped him develop a new rendering method for fire and explosion in Houdini, and it's much faster. It's called Axiom. So imagine the things you can achieve if you initially niche down. I think there's a great deal to that, and I've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. Like, I think I think you interviewed the food guy, the Patrick 4D. Like, all he does is food.
Yeah.
That's niched down to
every day.
the core. Yeah. And look where he is now. He's loving life, making food every day, and it looks amazing. He's like really good at it. He is the food guy.
Yes.
And all the, like, every single time I go to his posts, I see the companies of the food and beverage, whichever he's trying to sculpt in that video, they're commenting under his fucking videos. They see them because of the amount of attention he's put into food sculpting. And so if he does, let's say Dairy Queen, our favorite ice cream, Dairy Queen's under the comments and just writing like, oh my God, that's so awesome. So eventually he'll find ways to work with these companies as well. And I'm sure he's already done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I think that's like a really good segue into how to like find people to work with. If you become known for something and you're like, you know, you're the product animation guy, or you're specifically the beverage guy, beverage people will reach out to you and be like, hey, here's some money, make my thing 3D and awesome.
Are you becoming known as the 24-hour commercial guy? Because that's scary and dangerous. With zero budget, people will call you that I need a commercial ad for my product. My budget is
You
zero.
can do it in 24 hours, right?
You've done that before.
I hope I'm not being known as that. That would suck. I think I'm...
Well, you're choosing your path, my friend.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys, how did you find me? Like, how did I come up on your radar? Because I feel like I shouldn't be talking to you right now.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you shouldn't. But I'm going to answer your question. And I think, Farhad, actually, you go first and then I'll go.
No, for me was the thumbnail that half of your face was tired, the other one was not. And I made this ad in 24 hours for free.
Yeah.
So that was the first video. That was the video that came up and I saw. What was yours?
So I've seen your other videos before, but I never connected with you in the sense that I would see the thumbnail, I'll go in the video, and this happens with every creator that you like. You usually see one or two of the videos, you don't connect, and then one of them, the third one or the fourth one hits, and you're like, shit, I gotta follow this guy. So I've seen some of your videos before, but exactly like Farhad, it was the thumbnail was the thing that hit the most, and also the concept of the video, right? That 24-hour sort of Mr. Beast kind of challenge mixed with 3D, and your storytelling was unique. The way and I gotta also say, your 3D skills were up there, right? And all of that coupled together means that it was a great video, and that's when we connected with your channel.
Where did the idea came from for those series?
The 24-hour one?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I think I was just like struggling to figure out content to make, because I don't know about you guys, but like figuring out a good idea to sort of grow your channel, it's hard. So I think I was just throwing stuff at the wall, and this concept,
See what sticks.
that definitely stuck. So yeah.
Did you have any brand reaching out to you after you did all those commercial series?
Oh yeah. There's people reaching out all the time, which I don't like taking, because it takes away from me doing, stuff for me and the channel. So
Man, that right there is the struggle we always have. This is like a tug of war between me and Farhad every single time, and we're both on different ends of the tug.
Yeah.
Right, at the rope, and sometimes he's advocating for us doing the content and not the deals or not the money, and sometimes the opposite way. And I feel like that's a fight that every creator has to deal with all the time,
because the more product sponsorship or the more project work that you do, the less you can pay attention to the content. And what we have realized is, even if you make content from a paid work, it wouldn't be similar to the content that you do for your own. So
like super
it'll be very
organic,
different.
fully organic.
Yeah. Are you talking about like freelance stuff or like brand deals? Because
Both.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, definitely, like when those videos hit, even before that a little bit, like there's lots of brands with brand deals reaching out, or like sponsorships, which I turned down a lot. But the freelance stuff is like, I only take it if it's really cool, basically. Like I don't want to put all my YouTube projects to the side to make this thing and then maybe not be able to show it for like a year or something because of NDA. And so these days I'm basically saying no to most stuff.
May I give you guys a little story of mine? I don't think I've ever shared this, but I think it's relatable.
Okay.
So before the 3D career and the Bad Decision Studio and all that, Farhad knows I was in esports and I was doing content on my own personal profile, and I was doing gaming content like you were. And there was a time I was sponsored by Samsung, and
oh wow,
man, they completely took over my content for great money, but every post of mine was now Samsung. And then there was this one time I had an iPhone, but I was sponsored by Samsung. Oh, no. And then I took a selfie and posted it as a story, and then immediately they contacted me, asked me to remove the photo because
what?
I'm sponsored by Samsung, and there was an iPhone in the mirror. So I did, and that was the moment I went to Farhad.
There was another time we bought a gift, a Mother's Day gift for our mom,
which
was an AirPod, and we posted a story that we bought an AirPod for our mom, but because it was an Apple product, we had to take it down.
What?
So they went to the extreme, but I also understand why, because they were paying good money.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to get to is this: I realized that my freedom was being taken away from me. It was very simple. I wasn't allowed to be myself.
Yeah.
Again, for good money, but but there is a point that you reach where it affects your content. So this is not only true with sponsorships; it's also true with work that you're doing for freelance, because you do sometimes take up those projects because they pay well, and you can use that to fund your videos, and that's an excuse at some points, but that's also something that you need for survival. And we've done that so intelligently this time around, me and Farhad, where we said no to pretty much every brand deal. We've only worked with Polycam, and only because we've used them in our videos anyways.
Yeah.
So now we worked with them to create better videos, fund the videos to do something crazy, and we also get access to their products, which helps us create better videos in return for our audience.
Yeah.
This time we're being smart about it, and the reason why I wanted to share that story is because I went too far ahead with the sponsorships for the sake of money, and that completely ruined my reach, ruined my engagement. And so I think any aspiring creator needs to understand why SMEAF was talking about spending most of his time on his work, and why he's saying no to, well, as you said, or at least you dislike working with a lot of these people because you want to focus on your own content.
Yeah. Well, it's not even like that I dislike working with them, unless it's like a terrible product. But mainly like the freelance side of things is I'd rather just sort of always say no, unless it's like really amazing. Something that I personally enjoy or would use because it's like my addictive personality. It's like if it's cool and funny and weird, like I'll do it. So yeah, that's my philosophy with freelance and sponsors and shit.
Do you get those weird emails of people saying, "Would you do this for $5 or like $50?" Like we get those emails all the time.
Yeah, dude.
And the guy's like coming in from a higher position as well. It's not like they're not trying to ask you in a nice way. They're just like, "Oh, your channel, I like it. Why don't you do this for $50, like endorsement of my product?"
It's so dumb, but they need to figure out their marketing team because we know better than them most of the time. It's usually like my spam folder is probably filled with it, but it's usually like, dear YouTuber, product placement.
They haven't even spent the time to look at your name.
Sometimes the email is so template. It's crazy.
You're a YouTuber. Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
We love your channel and the engagement you have with your audience.
We absolutely love your content. Yeah, bitch, you haven't watched a single video.
Yep.
What is the worst comment you got on your YouTube videos from your
Worst
audience?
comment.
Do you get them often?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's so toxic, man. I need to like just delete the studio app from my phone so I don't look. But it's usually just people being like, just super critical of some older videos or even newer ones where they're like, "Oh, he's doing this for, X reason," or like this has no value to me specifically. It's just really dumb stuff, like superficial stuff that means nothing to me.
How do you deal with them? Is it easy to go through them and just don't care about them?
Yeah, if it's like super critical of something that actually has a point, I'll like do my best to address it and be like, "Okay, you're right. I'll take that into note for the next videos." But if it's just some loser just sort of venting through the screen, I'll be like, "All right, cool, banned from channel."
We saw in the Q&A video, someone asked a serious question, but that was the second question they had. The first question was, "Are you gay?" And then the second question was a 3D question. We get that question all the time. Yeah. And we're like, "Guys, come on, we're brothers."
We had to put that we are brothers in the channel description.
Yeah, and the guy was pissed to us. This was like, "What's your deal? Are you dating or what?" Like, bro, we're talking about Unreal Engine.
We didn't even.
What's up with you?
Yeah, why do you need to know? I'm teaching you stuff.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even remotely related. Maybe if you were a relationship expert. Okay, cool. You can ask. But dude, it's Blender and Unreal Engine for fuck's sake. I want to ask you something. I think this is going to be really important to all the Blender artists specifically. What recent purchase of a plugin or add-on has positively impacted your workflow?
Let's see. I bought a like geometry nodes Aquaflow thing where it makes like liquid sims that you can sort of guide through a geometry node. That was cool. I don't really buy many add-ons, to be honest. Like I just buy them out of necessity. So I think that's the only one in recent memory. Or actually no, Polyfjord's CRT screen has been like really great, really fun to use. Just like a cool CRT shader, and it's like super realistic. That one's really awesome.
Yeah. No, his Polyfjord's stuff are really cool. Love his content and his work.
Yeah, even his little mech bot asset pack. I've been meaning to get that. It looks so fun.
I haven't gotten that. No, we haven't gotten that, but we see almost all of his videos. His videos are very well produced.
They're amazing.
Very well produced.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think both of you guys have super high production value. His one is more cinematic. Yours is, of course, more memey, as you'd like it to be. More memey, but both very well edited. Both very. It's hard to leave the video. It's hard to stop watching.
That's good. I'm doing my job.
Actually, how do you plan for a video? How do you plan for a video?
I script everything. But like pretty much verbatim. So that massive 35-minute video where it's me telling frameworks on how to learn Blender, that one took forever because I was just trying to make all these like abstract concepts tangible with video game references because at the time I was addicted to Skyrim for some reason.
Yeah.
So like a video like that, I think that one took at least nearly 2 months, which is just ridiculous.
Sense. Yes. No, perfectly makes sense.
We understand because when you start scripting it out, more ideas come through, and you think to yourself, especially if it's an educational video, especially if you spend so long editing it, you're probably going to have this one chance to feed this information down someone's throat.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I got to talk about this, I got to talk about that. We were doing the Unreal Engine tutorial series. We kept adding in chapters. At the end, Farah had to delete some because many of them, because it was just too much information for a beginner. But we totally understand that. So what is the scripting flow for you though? Because for us, sometimes we're thinking of the idea, but for 7 days, we can't script it. And then one day in the morning, we're feeling pumped. We get the right amount of caffeine in there, maybe some shisha, a little bit of nicotine, and then the script comes through. How does it work for you? Do you have creative blocks in your scripting as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Usually it starts with like, I guess we're talking YouTube stuff now, but it's like thumbnail, title, and then once those are like very solid and I'm happy with them, then I'll hop into scripting because usually it'll be the intro first. And once the intro is done, then I can flesh out the rest of it. But yeah, if the intro doesn't make sense to what the thumbnail is showing and saying, it's like, why bother making the video? Because it's not going to perform and it's not going to like reach the audience that you want it to reach, which is ideally for that video, just people wanting to learn Blender, which it's reaching. So I did something right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of the scripting, how long does it usually take to do your scripts of different videos, like on average?
I'd say it should probably only take like 2 days, but it takes like a week for me. Because I stress over every single thing I'm going to say. I don't know why. But funnily enough, this video that I'm posting in a couple of days is like 10 plus hours of webcam footage of me just like testing free add-ons. And so I couldn't stress over what I was saying. So I think I crafted a good story around it. And the script was like just so way more easier to make because all I did was like find clips that made sense to the story and then just say what's happening. So it was like, took a day basically, which is great.
Do you plan your visual overlays as well when you are scripting? Because you have a lot of them in your videos.
Yeah, I usually I do. It'll be I'll at least have some kind of like vague description of what is going to be happening as I'm saying the thing. And that just helps so much. It's basically like I'm editing the video before I'm even editing the video.
Yes. Yes. And that helps so much. That's the one best thing about editing your own videos, especially if you're starting out. I assume, unless you're ultra rich, then you're not editing your videos. But when you're editing your own videos, you're visually seeing what is going to be created at the end. And that helps you with the scripting process.
Yeah.
And in terms of the overlays, you have a lot of them. Like sometimes it's unbelievable. And since they're all 3D as well, let's talk about that Blender video. That's 35 minutes long.
Yeah.
35 minutes. Every few seconds, I'm seeing a 3D overlay. First of all, are you rendering those in Eevee or in Cycles?
Yeah, so I had to render them in Eevee because it would have literally taken like maybe a week of rendering time to get everything out. So Eevee was the only option. Yeah.
So rendering it in Eevee is relatively quicker, but then how long does it take for you to create all the 3D overlays?
Well, so for that one, I gave myself like a deadline of a week. So it took a week.
Wow.
Which is
Just for the overlays.
yeah. But it was like a week of hell because I didn't really sleep.
That shows
amount
the
of
fucking
work,
dedication.
The amount of work that goes through the video. Oh my fucking God.
But as a viewer who's voicing out their opinion,
You're stitched to the screen.
I'm
right?
stitched to the screen
Hey.
because of that. Literally, that 1 week is so worth it. If you want an opinion from out the external,
Yeah, please.
that 1 week is so freaking worth it because it is the main thing that stands out outside the storytelling, outside the actual 3D skills you've got. It's all of those overlays because people see the effort. People see the effort and they're like, holy shit, how much time did this guy spend? Or the editor, which in this case you don't have.
Yeah.
How much time did they spend to make sure I understand the workflow? For instance, if I'm trying to understand how to learn Blender, you really care. And since it's on YouTube, I know it's free, technically. You're not getting paid by me, at least. So that helps people stick to the screen and also become huge fans. So keep doing the 3D overlays, man. We love those.
Oh, thank you. It's kind of like a gift and a curse as well because it just takes so much more time to create something if you do it like that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand.
Yeah. Do you guys do it at all? Are you planning on maybe doing it?
Well, yes, but
we
no,
have tried it a few times, but
I'm afraid to say yes in front of SMEAF.
yeah,
Like, when he says, do you
We
guys
have
do it at
tried.
all?
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is on
We
record.
have tried it.
Yeah, it's not.
No, we did it for a drone photogrammetry.
One 3D overlay or two.
Two
Oh,
3D
yes, we did
overlay.
two.
No,
Nice.
we did it for the
No, but
AR
in one
experience.
video too.
Yeah, I said we tried
Yes.
a few.
Yeah,
That's
it
mine.
takes too long. It takes too fucking long. And also at the same time, at least like when I'm doing it in Blender, my expertise is mostly in lighting and the rendering part of things, the final steps.
Yeah.
What you're really good at is the animation and getting into the keyframes in the graph editor. That's the part, at least I can say I'm not skilled in. So I don't want to spend a whole week on that. Let's put it that way. I can see how painful that could be. So that's why. But it is so valuable. And many YouTubers are using stock footages. And for you, you decided to create your own, which gives your channel its own unique taste and flavor, which people love. So that's why it's amazing. What is one advice that is shit about content creation that you think people should know about?
Oh man.
Yes. Like a recommendation or something that people think content creation is and they've got it all wrong and you only know it because you've done it for so long and you're successful at it.
There's a lot. There's so much. Probably a big one is like trying to make your channel off of search-based content. There's a lot of like great successful channels out there that do it, but if you're thinking of like, let's say your sole purpose at this very moment is to figure out how to delete the default cube. If you go to YouTube and type in how to delete the default cube, there will be a video that tells you exactly how to do that. And as soon as you get the information, you're out. You never know that person ever again. You'll never see them ever again. And if you do, you probably won't even realize that you've seen them before. So it's like a very like transactional view, and it's just very bad for your channel growth and actually reaching the 1,000 subs and 4K watch hours. It's like I wouldn't recommend it because it may get you some views. That's how I started, at least. Like I was doing super SEO titles and thumbnails, but then it's like, well, they came and they got their stuff and then they left, and I got really nothing in return. So yeah, make stuff that's like homepage worthy, stuff that you would want to see on your homepage.
That's a good advice.
That's a fucking good advice.
Yeah.
You know, me and Farah, when we started the YouTube channel, there was a couple of channels that we were looking at. I don't remember what they were called, but I think Colin and Samir or some other YouTuber was talking about them, where they only had 5 videos. So the channel grew to more than millions of subscribers with 5 videos. And those 5 videos were about 30 minutes long, sort of mini documentaries, but they were so well produced that many people subscribe. So 100% what you're saying is true. I think a lot of people who start out, they just want to get a few numbers so that they can feel confident that this is the path for them.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that soon after they realize that the audience is not connecting. And then that's the valley of despair for content creation. They either drop out or they continue going and they'll learn what you just told everybody. And finding your taste is so important. But also, I feel like to do that, if you don't have any idea in the beginning, it's always great to do the daily content or daily renders.
Experiments is the best thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try different concepts and see which one sticks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
You can never come up with like the idea in your first video. It is impossible. It usually comes out after 30 videos.
Yeah.
The idea.
Yeah.
Because you keep iterating and you learn from the comments, the constructive ones. And then you learn from some of your own mistakes, or you'll see something, you'll add it in, and then eventually your food tastes really good. The food being your content.
Yeah. But also like it's kind of you want the video to hit straight away. Of course, everyone does. But at the same time, you don't, because if you get like, if your first upload is like, you know, you get 1 million views in a week, and it's like this really bizarre thing that you did, you're going to associate your channel with that thing. And then you're going to, that's you now. You're going to do that forever. And then for some reason, like it was like the algorithm was, the people wanted that one video at that time. But moving forward, no one cares about that topic anymore, and you're still making it and getting no views and falling into the valley of despair. Yeah.
Got to be careful with the valley of despair.
But yeah, I don't know. I just make like hundreds of videos and see, you know, find your voice on YouTube, because it's kind of what you need to do.
Yes. No, I 100% agree with that. We talked a lot about your past. I want to sort of end this with the future. So what do you think, if you could go into the future and ask yourself one question, what would it be?
Oh, man.
So you could ask future SMEAF one question.
Give me the title and thumbnail.
What's the title and thumbnail for my next video?
Well, yeah, what's working right now on YouTube? Oh, man. I don't know. Maybe something like, are you happy? Because if you're not, maybe stop.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. That's profound.
Yeah, that is
Yes,
profound.
That is profound.
Yeah,
So
are
at
you
least
happy?
You don't lose days and nights not sleeping, doing the thing that in 5 years' time you are not even happy. I wouldn't even call it happy. Are you proud of what you have done? Are you successful?
Yeah. Like to me, I would definitely be like happiness route, because I don't want to feel, you know, as I did in my corporate job. I want to be happy SMEAF, making funny videos for everyone to watch and enjoy.
That's like the best outro. I love that, because, you know, it is funny because, as I said earlier, watching your videos, you don't realize all the things that has happened to you in the past. And we probably only heard 5% or maybe even less, 2% of your whole life story here. And it's, again, we're laughing about it, we're smiling about it, but knowing we're humans too, we understand the pain that people go through. And it's not easy, because now you can laugh about it, you're looking back on it. But during those times, in those days, when money's running low and when you fucking hate what you're doing, when people are calling you and they're angry parents, angry car people, whatever, that's when you really have no clue what you're doing. And even making a decision like spending 2 hours on a sculpt feels like
stupid.
A waste of time, because it has no purpose. It's not serving any purpose. It's not making you money. And that's why those decisions that you make, hence why we call bad decisions, the bad decisions that you make end up taking you to the place you're in now. And you clearly made a lot of bad decisions, but you've ultimately landed where you are. And it's beautiful, because so many people are learning from you now. So many people learn about the future of animation, learn about Blender itself, different tips and tricks, and also entertainment. I feel like one of the reasons why Blender is growing so much as a 3D software, and why other 3D softwares like Houdini perhaps is a good example of that, suffer, to attract a huge audience, complexity aside, is the creators behind the 3D softwares. Blender has amazing creators behind it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we switched to Blender, Fad remembers, started with Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D is amazing. Yeah. There's some amazing tutorials, but it doesn't come close to Blender. Blender has so many kids uploading tutorials. So you can find anything for anything. And that's why we're thankful for your existence, because it will bring attention to artists around the world, and also Blender.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude, Blender is such a like anomaly that it even exists. And I'm so thankful for it, because it's like, it's pretty much just saved my life. Getting me out of that job. And I think, I feel like it's a multi-million-dollar industry, but built off of $0. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, absolutely. It's also funny because Unreal Engine is the other software that we use, also free. Yeah. So two of the biggest
freeloaders.
We are all freeloaders.
Two of the biggest freeloaders.
Let's go. But Farad, do you have anything else?
No, I just want to thank SMEAF for the time that he gave us today. His transparency, sharing us the numbers from his channels. Usually people don't like to do that. They don't share money. They don't share the story. But it's been a great conversation.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. I love this. I'll call me anytime. I'll come back on.
All right. No, we're gonna call you when we're in Australia. We're gonna call you when we're in Australia, and we're gonna make a meetup happen. We're gonna do a vlog.
Yes.
Because we started vlogging again, and we're recording all the amazing moments that happen in our life, and those are. It happens every week.
Amazing moment. I failed the driving license test in the last vlog. How can it be amazing moment?
It was amazing for me. This is not the first time he's gotten a driving license, by the way. We had one in Asia where we used to live. Okay. And then in Canada, we had to get it again.
You have to sit down for the test.
So we both failed the first round. Farhad failed the second round. I passed the second round, which proves I'm the worthy brother.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Thor.
Just a driving license.
You're Loki.
Just a driving license.
That's so funny.
Well, SMEAF, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much. For everybody watching and listening, in the case that you have not heard of SMEAF before this, I don't know why I said SMEAF before this, go and check out his channel. It's going to be linked in the description. He's got amazing videos, and you're going to love him, and you're going to love the memes. And for everybody watching and listening, you guys are awesome. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Until then, ciao.
Ciao.